And again, the Gibson guitar case is classic. There is absolutely no reason. What, did we catch all the dope dealers? Did we find all the mass murders in this country? You know, they use that on people. Watch your children, because we got mass murderer rapists out there. So we have enough stupid people that they'll go along with us sending a SWAT team of 60-some men with guns to shoot at, you know, if need be, shoot and kill people at Gibson Guitar. While we have mass rapists, we have mass murderers, and all those people's time was so critical that they go to Gibson Guitar to put a gun to their head to demand that they send American jobs overseas, rather than looking for real. See, that's the gauge for me about this law enforcement / where there is no legitimate reason for them to exist. None. There is no legitimate reason for them to exist. This is another example of why they're not there to protect you. They are there to feed off you. Another example of socialist whoredom in its prime. That's what happened with Gibson Guitar. Gibson Guitar, the only thing I would question is he a Mason or not? Is he a ring knocker or not? Is he Catholic or is he Protestant? See, I need more of a background on the guy. And that'll tell me a great deal about the scam and who was ordered to do what and why to attack Gibson Guitar, which is an American company, which is, by the way, been employing more and more young people. What I was most impressed with was looking at the backgrounds with stuff that was done where people were acknowledging that this is one of the few companies where they're actually training young Americans to actually be, you know, productive and actually learning a skill. Now, it's a foo-foo item. Guitars aren't going to, you know, keep anybody alive, except that as long as they're building Gibson guitars, somebody's making a wage, they get taxed. The parasite's not happy just with that tax. They want to go out and destroy the company and drive the Americans off onto the streets as unemployed while they're busy sending our American jobs overseas, so they can then show you why they need to have more of a police state and a bigger government so that they can fix something that wasn't broken until they broke it, until government broke it intentionally. Self-serving socialist slobs. Destructive parasites that need to be done away with. We need to get rid of them. Because otherwise, and it is, life or death. Any fool who writes an article like that, that one paragraph is the epitome. It acknowledges the one thing. Why aren't you asleep? Why aren't you... This is what really these punk socialists are all saying. Why aren't you going back to sleep so we can just feed off you until you're dead? Until they can laugh about throwing you into the trash heap as an old person because they don't need to take care of you. You're one of those... We're all these evil Americans who need to be punished by the globalists. I say kill them first, them dead first, die now, and then we can live free later. It's that simple. Any other discussion beyond that, in fact, if you don't treat this as a war, you are on the short end of the stick right off the bat. They do. Who is it that sent these bat faggots and all the, or in this case it was the Fish and Wildlife, the EPA, and the FBI to Gibson Guitar? Who did that? Wasn't you? Did any of you pick up a phone and drop a dime on Gibson Guitar and said, "Oh my God, I think they've got unfinished Madagascar and Rosewood. We need to save us from Gibson Guitar. We need to kill everybody there. Send men with guns. Send men with guns in black uniforms." Any of you pick up the phone and drop a dime on them? Hell no.
Why, Dad, don't you know that unfinished biodegradable wood that you'd find laying out someplace in the middle of a field rotting if people weren't using it is a very big, ecological disaster. That's why the EPA had to be called
It's a reason to kill people because of that replaceable, replenishable organic matter that, in fact, Gibson Guitar spent money to help promote. That's the kicker on this. Gibson Guitar, if I were Gibson Guitar, here's another seed I would plant. If I were Gibson Guitar, I would withdraw my support from every stinking ring-knocking, spit-swapping, eco-freak program that they bought into because they were trying to be nice. Right off the bat, it'd be like, you know what? I got to figure that one of these jackasses right here betrayed me or is spitting on me and laughing about it behind their back. So, you know what? Call them up and say, I withdraw all of my support for your operation. Hi, how you doing? I withdraw all my support from your stinking socialist operation. Hi, how you doing? Madagascar, you don't get them in line? I'm looking for somebody or anything. We're not doing your wood no more. Sorry about that. It's really great stuff, but I'll figure out another way to do something. Instead of screwing American workers, it's whoever it was, get Madagascar to put pressure from the other end. Because instead, and I still think they did backstab Gibson from behind the scenes, I believe there's a lot more tiers to this than anybody wants to talk about. But it's representative. Because they don't have any more. They can't. They've destroyed so many industries. The parasites have to go and start shopping and finding places that they can do damage to. And these stinking whore socialists that are in these black uniforms, these bottom-feeding pieces of gutter trash, they are not going to care about you one iota. They're only looking at, they get 10% of whatever they steal. When they come to your house and steal, they're going to do the same stinking thing. That is the king's men that we had to shoot in 1775 through 1783 to get our country cleaned out. And it's where we are right now. Get rid of the king's men. Get rid of the crown, and you will be fine. Well, are you going to have to work for a living? Yes, hell yes, and we'll all be able to work for a living. I'll build things to help you out. You build things to help me out. We will build for ourselves, and we will have a strong country in the process. But not with a stinking parasite who believes that they deserve everything that you own, be they from the government parasite end or from the street gang parasite end down on the other end. Because that's pressure from below, pressure from above, and then, number one, put the glasses on, see the banker, shoot the sucker. Get rid of the sucker and be done with it. Well, you can hang them, you can beat them, I don't care. Don't drive them out and let them get away, they'll come back. So when this thing happens, understand who your enemy is. There is a legitimate process, but it requires honor, and there isn't any because these are parasites that have never been taught honor. See, that's the problem with the whole idea. It was, well, there's an honor system. It no longer exists. It has been long dead. And that's why, again, you're supposed to be thinking of this as a hobby pastime to be laughed over at the dinner table, not a life or death issue where your livelihood is at stake. Well, your livelihood has been at stake. Your family's future, your friends' future, our country's future are at stake because of these whores. And always have been because they've been the threat. We've let them go too far, and now, because we said, we're going to put the brakes on, you're going to be called a terrorist because they are trying to find a peaceful solution. Here's how it works. You don't take any more from us. There are rules. Stop what you're doing. We're not going to go along with it. And by the way, you all said that this is the way to do it, so we're stopping you. Oh, you people are all terrorists and insane because you're trying to tell us we can't steal more from you. You're right. But we're not insane and we're not stupid. We're looking straight at you. And I'm going to be very calm. I'm always very calm when it comes to dealing with things like this because I've already made a decision. And that's half the battle. Those people who are in conflict and angst, you need to settle right now where you want to be. If you want to be just a hobbyist, I don't have a problem with that. But be a hobbyist that participates. Since you want to be a hobbyist, embrace the hobby. When the time comes, you can scurry off in the shadows and cower, and later on you'll come back, rah, 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 we were behind you, so far behind you we couldn't hear the gunshots, rah, rah, rah. Because I've seen it all before. I know exactly what's going to happen. The Tea Partyists are mostly like that. When it looks like it's going to be serious, they're going to be buckling over backwards. Just be ready for that and don't be surprised. Now that's the plastic ones. The real ones, they got gumption. But the plastic ones, that it's all hobbyist politics, they're eventually what will happen is they're going to tweak the right words. You saw the propaganda I read, or you heard what I read in this article, all the catchphrases, so people start doing the apology thing. Instead, stay focused, pay attention to what's going on, and use your brains. We're at the top of the hour here, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Jim Monahan's 20th annual Antique Engine Show is coming up this weekend. Radio communication starts tonight with the official projects there. Ed's taking over. We got a lot more coming up here in live broadcasting. Don't you touch that dial. God bless the Republic. Death of the New World Order. We shall prevail, ladies and gentlemen. The Empire's on the run and we're in the march. Come on, join in. And you can give us a call, 218-844-8060. The room number is 437-9296 and the pound sign. And you can join in and be part of the solution rather than just a problem. We'll be back later on Monday. Bye-bye. Oh, and let's not forget, BK and Quartermaster Friday tonight here at 8 o'clock, an hour away on the Intel Report.